Cemeteries are supposed to be places of peace, silent grounds where the living leave flowers and the dead are left to rest. But not all cemeteries are peaceful. In some, silence is broken. Figures walk between the stones that shouldn't be there. Cold hands grab at the living. Whispers rise from the soil. For centuries, people have claimed to witness things in cemeteries that cannot be explained. Apparitions, curses, violent encounters. Things so disturbing that they have left visitors screaming or scarred for life. Tonight, we'll uncover the most terrifying things ever witnessed in cemeteries. So turn off the lights and pray you never find yourself alone among the tombstones. In the heart of Edinburgh, Scotland, lies Greyfriars Kirkyard, an ancient graveyard where moss eats at stone and silence hangs over the dead. But here, beneath the earth, rests Sir George Mackenzie, a 17th century lawyer infamous for his cruelty. Known as Bloody Mackenzie, he sentenced thousands of Scots to death. And in death, his cruelty never ended. Since the late 1990s, over 450 reports of violent encounters have been logged in Greyfriars. Visitors fainting, tourists collapsing, people walking away with bruises, scratches and burns on their skin. In 2000, a woman collapsed near Mackenzie's mausoleum. When her friends pulled her up, she had fresh bruises wrapped around her throat, shaped like fingerprints. There was no one else there. A tour guide claimed to find a sharp pain mid-sentence during a ghost tour. When he lifted his sleeve, 3 long scratches were bleeding down his arm. He finished the tour pale and shaking. Others report waking up days later with nightmares, convinced that something from Greyfriars followed them home. Paranormal researchers called it the Mackenzie poltergeist, one of the most violent hauntings in the world. So many incidents occurred that parts of the cemetery were locked, forbidden after dark. But even with gates closed, people still sneak in. And not all of them come back the same. In Guadalajara, Mexico, stands El Panteón de Belén, built in 1848, a cemetery known for Gothic mausoleums and legends that never die. The darkest of these legends surrounds a single grave, the grave of a vampire. In the 1800s, Guadalajara was terrorized by livestock killings and missing children. When the townspeople discovered the culprit, a man accused of vampirism, they drove a wooden stake through his chest and buried him in Belén. But something unnatural grew from his grave, a massive, twisted tree. Locals whisper that the tree feeds on the corpse beneath it. Its roots are thick, splitting stone. Branches stretch over surrounding tombs, and at night, people claim to hear screams coming from the soil. Witnesses tell chilling stories. In the 1950s, a group of teenagers dared each other to circle the tree 13 times. One collapsed on the final step, trembling and screaming that he felt claws tearing into his back. When his shirt was lifted, bloody scratches were carved across his skin. Others say if you cut into the tree's bark, blood seeps from it. And even today, people tie red ribbons to its branches, prayers for protection from whatever lies below. One night guard confessed, "I hear crying near the vampire's grave, but when I go to check, there is no one, only shadows moving between the stones." The tree still stands, and many believe it's alive. In the tiny town of Stoll, Kansas, there is a cemetery feared across America. A place locals whisper about but avoid at night. Stoll Cemetery has been called one of the 7 gateways to hell. Legends say the devil himself appears here twice a year, on Halloween and during the spring equinox. Witnesses claim to have seen a cloaked figure among the stones, only to watch it vanish before their eyes. But the most terrifying part is what lies beneath. In the 1970s, a Kansas newspaper reported 2 men who fled the cemetery after hearing voices chanting underground. One of them said, "It sounded like hundreds of people screaming under the earth. Then everything went black." In another case, college students exploring at night claimed one of their group began convulsing violently. When they pulled him into the street, his arms were covered in scratches that looked like claws. For decades, an abandoned stone church stood at the edge of the cemetery. Paranormal hunters said it was a ritual site. In 2002, the church mysteriously collapsed. Some claimed it was destroyed to hide its true purpose. Others believe it fell because the ground beneath it was cursed. Now, only the steps remain. Steps that many insist lead not into the basement, but into hell itself. And yet people still dare to visit. Most run out screaming. Some swear they left with something following them home. On the outskirts of Chicago lies Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, abandoned, neglected, and legendary. It's one of the most haunted cemeteries in America. Drivers report phantom cars appearing on the road beside it, headlights racing toward them before vanishing into thin air. Others describe ghostly figures, men in black coats, women in veils, children drifting between tombstones. But none are more famous than the Lady in White. She's often seen carrying a baby, walking among the graves with endless sorrow. In 1991, a paranormal team, the Ghost Research Society, captured the most chilling photo ever taken in a cemetery. In broad daylight, with infrared film, they photographed an empty gravestone. But when the film was developed, there she was. A pale woman in a white dress, sitting with folded hands. Her body faint, almost transparent, but unmistakably real. Even skeptics admitted the photo defied explanation. And the lady is not alone. A phantom horse and plow has been seen near the lagoon, tied to a farmer who drowned there in the 1870s. Police officers in 1973 reported seeing a glowing car vanish before their eyes. Visitors often leave terrified. Some feel icy hands pulling at their clothes. Others swear they hear footsteps following them out of the cemetery, only to find nothing there. Bachelor's Grove is not just haunted. It's alive with restless spirits, and sometimes those spirits don't stay behind the gate. Cemeteries are meant for rest, but not here. At Greyfriars, the Mackenzie poltergeist attacks without warning. At Belaine, a tree grows from the grave of a vampire. In Stoll, the devil himself is said to walk among the stones. And at Bachelor's Grove, the Lady in White still wanders, and her image was captured forever on film. These are the most terrifying things ever witnessed in cemeteries. Not legends, not stories. Encounters. Proof. Scars that remain. So the next time you walk past a cemetery at night, don't look too long into the shadows, because something there might already be looking back.